Hello everybody, today I want to give you a tour of my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K rig by Tilta and a couple of other great accessories. So first off, let me show you how the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K looks. This is bare bones. This is essentially how it comes out of the box. It's actually quite nice of a camera. It's an amazing shooter. Takes amazing video. It's very beautiful. It's got a big LCD screen on the back. Very functional, very easy to use. I'm overall extremely happy with this camera after having it for a couple of weeks now. Now, let me show you how I rig this camera, and I'll tell you a little bit about every accessory and why it's very useful to me. So let's get started. So first off, I want to show you the cage that I got from Tilta. So this cage right here will allow us to mount the camera on here, and this cage will take all of the weight that would normally be on the camera. So it's rather nice, very well built. I really love it. I'm super happy, extremely happy with all these products that I got. That's why I'm doing a video about them. But this cage will basically be mounted on the camera, and it'll take the weight off the camera, meaning most of the accessories that I mount on it are going to be on the cage and not on my camera. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to mount it on the camera itself. So what we'll do is we'll take it from the back to the front of the cage, and we're going to be careful grabbing both sides. I don't want to scratch the camera, so I do it slowly. I'm careful. I hold it with both hands. Now if you can see, we're aligning the screw hole right there, and we're aligning the screw hole on the bottom as well. And I always grab it from both sides. I want to make sure it never slips out of the cage while it's not secured. So what I'm going to do is, it comes with the tiny screws, these guys right here. So this one will be the one for the top, and this one will be the one for the bottom. It comes with a little bracket so you can tell. So first off, let's go ahead and screw this one in here. Now when you buy this kit, it does come with the Allen key. I think I misplaced mine, but I have plenty of tools at home, so I'm not really worried or concerned about that. So let me show you how I screw that in here. Okay, so that's nice and secured, and now we're going to go for the bottom one. So the bottom bracket, basically you're going to align right there, and we're going to go ahead and screw that in there as well. So make sure that's nice and tight. Okay, perfect. So now the first section is on here, and it's very nice, very tight. So it feels sturdy, feels very nice. So the second thing that I like to attach to it is the handle. So this is the handle that the kit that I bought comes with. This kit was $464. It comes with this cage. It comes with this handle, which is very nice, so you can mount a lot of things on it. It comes with a base plate and also a side handle, which also allows you to connect power to it. And I'm going to talk about all the individual components. And it comes with a partial sun hood as well. So let's go ahead and enter and install this part here. So what I'm going to do is basically just insert like that, and I'm going to use one of there's a couple of places where you can insert that, but I want to do it a little bit further to the edge because I want to mount a couple of other accessories, and I don't want it to be in the way. So this is what I'm going to do, and essentially just press down and you screw that in there, and boom, it's nice and tight. And now this allows you full control of your camera. You don't have to actually touch your camera. You can just control it with this, and all the weight is on the cage. So that's very nice. I really enjoy using this. So the next thing that I'm going to mount on here is going to be the side handle. So this side handle is super nice of an accessory. And the reason it's very nice is because it's going to allow me to control the camera a little bit better, but also it doubles as a holder for a battery. So you can enter Sony NP550 batteries, NP-F550 batteries, which is amazing. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but the battery, the stock battery that comes with the Blackmagic does not last very long. It's about 40 minutes or so. So having this solution right here has been perfect for me. I tested it, and on this Sony battery that I got from Power Extra, which was I think about 10 bucks, it gave me about an hour of battery life. So essentially what this one does, it powers the one that's in the camera. So it's perfect for me. I bought two. So essentially what it will do is it will allow me to use this battery, and once this one runs out, it'll run on the stock battery. I'll swap it out without having to disconnect. I'll put in the other one, and I'm going to get about two hours and 2.5 hours or so. So it's a very, very nice power solution. This camera, a lot of people, everybody knows it's not great on power. It's an amazing camera. You get amazing video out of it, but everybody has to kind of work out their own power solution. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and mount this. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to use the bracket here from the cage, and you're going to basically align this here, and it's not going to go in. And the reason it's not going to go in, it has this little pin for safety. So you're going to press that, and then it will go in. And once it goes in, you're going to have to screw this in. And perfect. Now it's nice and secure. And now that it's nice and secure, so you can essentially hold on to that perfectly. So this will allow you to control your camera. You can either hold it like this, you know, or you can hold it like this, just whichever way you want, whatever feels better at the moment. But it's just basically enhancing the way you use this camera. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to take it off for a second because I want to show you everything that I connect on the side a little bit later. Well, I'll do that later. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount my lens. So essentially, the reason I do that now is because I can kind of set it down without touching the back LCD, because this will protect it. So I want to show you the lens that I got. The lens that I got is this Rokinon 35mm prime lens. It's a cinema prime lens. So essentially, cinema lenses don't have f-stops, but they have t-stops. You can Google that and find out why that's important. But this is a proper cinema lens. It's very nice. It's about $600, but you can get it on special for about $400. This is a prime lens, so no zooming. It's very nice, very well built, very sturdy. I'm really enjoying this. It's very sharp, very high quality. So let's go ahead and mount this right here. So I'll take these off. And basically going to align. I mean, you guys know how to mount a lens, right? And boom, just make sure it snaps, and check that out. So I got a basic setup right here. If I just want to do some run and gun, you know, some handheld stuff, this is a very nice basic setup. I got full control with the side handle. I got this handle right here. So only the weight of the lens is actually on the camera so far, right? But if I hold it here, then I'm not putting too much stress on the camera itself. So that's a little bit of a basic setup right there. Now let me show you how I would connect these ports right here. Let me show you how the power solution would work. So I'm going to take this off, and you got to press the pin. So you got to make sure you press that, and you got to make sure that this is nice and loose. And there you go. So that's off. So as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of ports here, and these doors are, you know, kind of notoriously obnoxious. They are a little bit annoying, so you got to kind of pop them out. So once you pop them out, you'll have access to your ports. So basically, you got a microphone, you got a monitor for your headphones, HDMI port, you got the power, you got a mini XLR for your microphone, and you got USB for your SSD mount. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the SSD. So I got the Samsung SSD T5. This is a terabyte. This is an amazing solution. I definitely recommend. This is what you want to use. It's very simple to use. It is very reliable. It works seamlessly on any computer. You can connect it to your phone, connect it to your laptop, use it on your Mac. It's just a very, very nice solution. And obviously you can write pretty much any type of file from the camera. So it'll go on here. So it's a really cool solution. Now let me show you how it mounts. This solution here comes with this bracket right here. And I really like this cable solution because the last thing you want to happen when you're recording is you never want it to somehow get loose or disconnected. That would be a real tragedy if you were filming for a while and you had this important project and then suddenly it disconnected. And these things are kind of notorious. If you disconnect them while using them, they might get corrupted and you might lose all your info. So you don't want that to happen. So this is a very, very nice cable solution. So let me show you how that works. So this upper portion here, you're gonna mount right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Or actually, let me do, all right, right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert that right there. And I'm not gonna make it too tight because I have to insert this. And when you tighten this here, it'll also tighten the card so you don't drop it. So I'm gonna insert that here, plug it in, make sure it's nice and secure, and then I will basically screw this in. Make sure it's nice and tight, not too tight. You don't want to break the card. Remember, the housing is plastic for the SSD, so you don't want to break that. And then we have a little cable routing solution right here. So hopefully you guys can see that. So this little cable routing solution, I'm going to enter here for cable management. And then we're going to plug it in this, I don't know if you can see that, but that little USB right there, that little USB port. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to line it up there. And we're going to screw this section right here. We're going to screw this in here. And again, this is for a secure connection. You want to make sure that this does not come loose at any point. So we'll screw that in there. And make sure it's nice and tight. So I want to make sure you guys can see that. And perfect. So now we have our SSD mounted. So that's pretty important. Now this is a part that the way I have it set up, you don't have to do and redo. I leave this connected. This is going to stay connected. The only thing that's going to come on and off is going to be the card itself. Once you do this part, you don't have to take that apart unless you want to. Okay, so moving on. Now I'm going to do the side handle. So again, we have the side handle here. Now when you buy the side handle, it comes with this cable right here. So this is the cable you're going to need to connect to power. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to go to this port. Now this port, it's kind of tricky. These ports are pretty tricky, but hopefully once you set this up, you only have to do it once. The way that you got to make sure it aligns perfectly with those tiny holes in there. And it's kind of tricky. Sometimes I get it on the first try. Sometimes I got to fiddle with it. So let's see. Okay, let's see. There we go. So now it's in, and we're going to plug this in to the side handle right there. So the 12 volt out, perfect. And now what I'm going to do is, remember how I showed you how we can insert this section right here. I'm going to make sure that this door is not in the way. And I'm going to go ahead and... Now remember, we got to press the little pin right here, so otherwise it's not going to slide in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, perfect. So that's in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this. You got to make sure you tighten this. Make sure you tighten this up. That way. Okay, so now it's nice and sturdy. So now we got a very nice setup. We got mounted our hard drive mounted. We got power. Obviously, you got to enter the battery on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'll take this battery right here, and I'm going to insert this. Boom. And so now we got power as well. So that's a pretty cool solution, like I said. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert or install the partial sun hood. So sometimes when you're outside, it's pretty hard to see the screen. So you want a little bit of a sun hood. This one I take on and off a lot because if I'm doing something indoors, I don't really need it. But outdoors, it might be useful. So essentially, you're just going to basically place it on here like that and insert this screw right here, which will come in your kit. And we'll make sure it's, hopefully you guys can see that, but I'll make sure it's nice and tight. And perfect. So now it's coming along. We're getting a nice setup right here. It's looking pretty cool, right? So awesome. So moving on, the next piece that I want to show you is our base plate. So the base plate, it comes with it, with the kit. For $464, I actually got this kit. Comes with the base plate, the side handle, partial sun hood, the cage itself, the handle, and the SSD holder. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Now this part right here, I will essentially slide on the bottom. So as you can see, it'll slide in this bracket right here. And this basically gives you the possibility to mount more things on your rig. So hopefully you guys saw that. And then you will secure it with this little pin right here. So make sure that it's nice and tight and secured. And boom, we got our base plate. So this setup that I have here is a little bit, so far it's a little bit front heavy, but as you can see, it's still standing by itself. So next piece that I'm going to show you is these rods. They also come in the kit. I forgot to mention that. And these rods again give you the possibility to mount more things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert these rods here. And actually, something that I should have done first is insert those rods because sometimes it might be a little bit difficult to do it while it's mounted. So let me show you how that's done. So essentially you're going to insert the rod here. And these rods you can either go forward or you can go backwards. And the reason that you might want to go on the back is some people like to mount batteries on the back here. So they do it on the back side of their camera. And some people like to mount other accessories in the front. So you can either go back or front. That's up to you. And you can get longer rods too if you want both. So now that we've mounted these rods here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install my follow focus. So let me show you this little guy right here. This is a mini follow focus. So essentially what this does is it helps you wind the focus ring on your lens, and it basically does it by attaching these teeth to the teeth of your lens right here. So it's pretty cool. Now these don't have autofocus obviously because they're cinema lenses, and no self-respecting cinema lens is going to have autofocus. So you actually don't want that if you're doing actual cinema and nice video work. You don't ever want it hunting, and you want to decide where it focuses rather than the camera. If you got a couple of faces in the scene, you want to decide which one it's going to focus on and not leave that to the camera. So autofocus has its place and it's very nice, but you don't necessarily want that in a cinema camera. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to mount this to the rod. So you're going to insert that right there. You're going to make sure that little teeth align, and then you're going to tighten this little fastener right here. So you can see that. So basically we've tightened that. And I'm actually got it a little bit crooked here, so I'm going to align it again. And there we go. It actually moved. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and secure. And perfect. So now we got our follow focus on here. And this basically will allow me to move my focus. Now this is a little bit more natural than just basically doing it with my hand here. So rather than doing this with my hand, this is a little bit of a nicer position for me. So I like to hold the camera like this, and I basically can do this with my right hand. That's the way I want to do it. You can do it on your left hand if that's better for you. But I prefer holding it with the side handle essentially and then moving the focus. That's what I'd like to do. So that is essentially the follow focus here. It's the Tilta Mini follow focus. This one is $100. Very nice. I do like these stops here. So essentially, if you have a scene where you're going to have different focus points, two different focus points, like let's say two people are talking and you want to focus on one, the other one's further away and you want to focus on the other. So you essentially move these stops to wherever you know the focus is going to be, and it'll stop it there. And so now you have your focus points that are set, which is very nice. I really like that additional thing, that little detail. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so far we got the cage, we got the follow focus, sun hood, handles, SSD cards. It's looking very nice. The last thing I want to do is I want to show you my matte box. So this sun hood right here, or this hood right here, is nice when I'm doing some handheld stuff. If I need it, I could obviously take it off, but if I don't need it, but it's nice if it's sunny, you know, you don't want extra light in there. It protects you a little bit from the sun. Not necessarily a lot. You want to use a filter obviously for the light coming straight into your lens, but light coming from above or from the sides can be a little bit, you know, it could dampen that a little bit, so that's cool. So if I am going to be using it on a tripod or a little bit of a different setup, then I want to use my matte box. Let me show you really quick. So this is the matte box from Tilta. It actually comes in this little box right here. It's I would recommend keeping the box when you buy this guy right here because it's very nice to store here. This is not something that I feel comfortable storing somewhere else where it might be crushed. I like leaving it on here, but it's really up to you. This is pretty cool. It's $100 as well. It's very nice built. For $100, I would expect it to be cheaply built. I just wanted something on there, but this is actually very nice. I'm very surprised. It's pretty cool for $100. It comes with these 4 rings, which will help you adapt it. So it basically comes with an adapter for a 67mm lens, an 82mm, 72mm, and a 77mm. So the 77 happened to be the one that I needed. They do have more online if none of these would fit your lens, but basically you're gonna screw this in, and what this is going to do is going to allow you to, just make sure you screw this in. You kind of got to do it delicately, just be delicate with it, and you don't necessarily need it to be too tight. So there we go, we have the adapter on, and now I'm going to be using the matte box. So like I said, this is actually metallic. I expected the whole thing to be just plastic, but it is a combination of metal and plastic. It's very nice. I really like the build of it. It's lightweight because it is partially plastic and partially metal, but it's got a good feeling. It's got a nice build. It does have some mounting options on here as well if you needed to mount something. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to insert this on here and make sure it's nice and tight. Now, just make sure it's straight as well. Make sure you aligned it there. And what you're going to do is, if you can see this little, so just make sure it's nice and straight. And then what you're going to do is, if you can see this little thing right here, you're going to screw that in, and that's going to lock it in place. So that's pretty nice as well. So now we got our matte box in here as well. And this is the mechanism right here to control the flap. So essentially you're going to do that to unscrew, and then you can tighten that up in position. So if you want to leave it open like that. And this is also very nice to protect your lens from some unwanted additional sunlight. So it's pretty cool. So now as you can see the whole rig, this is all rigged out. It's pretty cool, pretty nice. Very nice rig. It's very functional. I'm really loving it, enjoying it. It looks great. I think once customers see this, they're going to want to pay you more money for your projects. And I'm only kidding about that, but it really is professional. It's very functional. I'm in love with it. I think it's super useful. I like swapping stuff around, swapping configurations around, just because some things I just want to hold it in my hand and move around. And sometimes I just want to do it on a tripod and make sure it's very sturdy, and I want to swap the focus around, move the focus around in an artistic way, or change my focus, I should say, in a very artistic way. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little tour of my camera, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. with the Tilta rig or the Tilta Cage. It comes with a handle, with the base plate, with the side handle. That also is a power solution. Additionally, I got the mini follow focus and the matte box, $100 each. I did show you my T5 from Samsung. This is about $190. So that is an additional accessory as well. And overall, I'm super happy, very stoked to be filming with this. I can't wait to do some projects on this. The video that I've gotten so far has been a treat. You guys might know, but when you get the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema, you also get the DaVinci Resolve software, which is $300. There is a free version. But DaVinci Resolve 16 Studio comes with the camera, and it's just amazing. And it's nicer to run on your computer than the free version. It's smoother to run on your computer. It has some software acceleration or video acceleration enhancements on there. So it's pretty cool. I did my first project on it. I'm really enjoying it. It's very powerful software. Why would you pay a monthly subscription for a Premiere? But that's just my opinion. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tour. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your camera. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to link all of these items in the description so you can get them. Please, if you have questions, just go ahead and ask them. I'll do my best to answer everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. My name is Manny. It's been a pleasure being with you, and I'll see you next time.